Today we are going to multiply 2 digits by 2 digits. We are going to multiply 41 times 18, and the strategy that I am going to use is to use a grid. So I've already drawn my grid, and what I'm going to do now is take 41 and write it in expanded form. So expanded form would be 40 plus 1. Now I'm going to take 18 and do the same thing but on the left side. So that would be 10 plus 8. So what this means is that you're going to take 40 and multiply it times 10 and write it in this first square right here. So 4 times 1 is 4, and then the 2 zeros would make it 400. Now I'm going to do the same thing, but I'm going to multiply 1 times 10, and it's going to go in this grid right here, in this square. So 1 times 10 is 10. Now I'm going to multiply 40 times 8 and put it in this square right here. So 4 times 8 is 32, and then the 0, bring down the 0. And then I'm going to multiply 1 times 8 and put it in this square. Now once I've done all of that, I am going to add all of these numbers that you have in the grid that I have right here. I'm going to add all of them. So I will write 400 plus 10 plus 320 plus 8. And the most important part of this section is to keep your numbers lined up by place value. So these are my ones, these are my tens, these are my hundreds, and all of those numbers are lined up. So I have 0 plus 0 plus 0 plus 8, and that equals 8. 0 plus 1 plus 2 equals 3. And 4 plus 3 equals 7. So 41 times 18 equals 738. And I solved that problem by using a grid. Let's try another one. We're going to use the same strategy using a grid, and I've already drawn the grid, and I'm going to write 60 in expanded form right above the grid. So that would be 60 plus 2. And then I'm going to do the same thing for 25 on the other side. That would be 20 plus 5. So now I'm going to take this number, 60, and multiply it times 20 and write it in this square. So 6 times 2 is 12, and then carry over the 2 zeros. Now I'm going to multiply 20 times 2. 2 times 2 is 4, and carry over the 1 0. Now I'm going to multiply 60 times 5. 6 times 5 is 30, and the 0 just comes down. And now I'm going to multiply 2 times 5, and 2 times 5 is 10. Now once I have multiplied and written all my numbers in there, I am going to come over to the side and add all of my numbers. So that's 1,200 plus 40 plus 300 plus 10. And again, the most important part of this little section is to keep your numbers lined up. The ones go with the ones, the tens go with the tens, the hundreds go with the hundreds, and the thousands go with thousands. Now once I've got all that lined up, then I can add. 0 plus 0 plus 0 plus 0 is 0. 0 plus 4 plus 0 plus 1 is 5. 2 plus 3 is 5. There's my comma. And then 1 plus nothing is 1. So 62 times 25 is equal to 1,550. Now we just solved that problem by breaking apart the numbers in expanded form and using a grid. Now we're going to try another strategy. This strategy is MDMA. I've abbreviated that to mean multiply, drop a 0, multiply, and then add. So let's look at this problem. Here, the first thing I'm going to do is multiply, then drop a 0, multiply, and then add. So I'm going to start off with multiplying. I'm going to multiply 6 times 2. 6 times 2 is 12. Now I'm going to multiply diagonally. 6 times 4. 6 times 4 is 24, plus 1 is 25. Now I am going to not multiply, I just multiplied. Now I'm going to drop a 0. Drop a 0 right here. Done with that. I'm going to continue with multiplying. So now I'm going to multiply this 3 diagonally times the 2. 3 times 2 is 6. 3 times 4 is 12. Now that I've multiplied, I'm going to add these two numbers. So 2 plus 0 is, 2. 5 plus 6 is 11, carry the 1. 2 plus 2 is 4, plus 1 is 5. And then 1 with a comma. So that's 1,512. 42 times 36 is equal to 1,512. Let's just try one more. We're going to use the same strategy. Multiply, drop a 0, multiply, add. So let's start. 7 times 5 is 35. 7 times 3 is 21, plus 3, 21, 22, 23, 24. Alright, so I've used that already. So I multiplied. Now I'm going to drop a 0, and then I'm going to multiply again. But this time I'm going to multiply this way. 2 times 5 is 10. 2 times 3 is 6, plus 1 is 7. And I'm done multiplying. Now I'm going to add. 5 plus 0 is 5. 4 plus 0 is 4. And 2 plus 7 is 9. So 35 times 27 is equal to 945. Now it's your turn. I have written 4 problems. Now you can use either strategy. You can either use a grid, or you can multiply, drop, multiply, add to solve these problems. Do it on a sheet of paper, and if you are one of my students, bring it to class. I will check it for you, and I would love to see if this video helped you in your ability to solve these problems. All right, I hope you enjoyed watching the video. Thanks.